So every once in a while, when I'm laying here meditating in the mornings, I get these revelations. So I guess sometimes when I get them, I'm just going to upload them. But I was thinking about my son in the process of me raising him, how I was young too. And I used to talk to him and tell him all the stories about things that had happened when I was growing up. And I realized that when we're young, we tend to be attracted to the allure and the false glamour of the street life, which always ultimately turns into a trap. I can remember telling my son these stories, but I would always end it this way. If you don't believe me, you watch the corners every 2 years, or you watch what happens every 2 years. There's always a change. Someone leaves, someone dies, someone goes to jail, something happens. And then there's a new set, and then it happens again, and it's an ongoing cycle. And he wound up getting in trouble. And I said, well, why didn't you listen to me? You know that I was very familiar with that world. And I'm your mother. I would never tell you anything that would put you in a bad position. And he said, Ma, he said, when elder people talk to us, like I felt like you didn't really know what you were talking about because you were older than me. And I was like, well, how could you think that when, basically everything these children look at that they reference about gangster and street stuff comes from older generations. So I don't understand how they could watch those movies and absorb the negative things, but never the positive messages that's given. And that's a program. It's like so many things are set up to lure our children into this world. And partially one of it is partially one of the greatest things is peer pressure, because you don't want to be an outsider. You don't want to be an outcast. You don't want to get punked. You don't want to be a sucker. You want to roll with the in crowd. And you get these young children get sucked into rolling with the in crowd. And things just go on and on and on like a snowball avalanche effect. And it just gets larger. It gets so large that it gets out of their hands and it becomes a problem, a serious problem, and people die behind it. No one benefits more than our real enemies than us having this urge to prove ourselves by hurting one another. We're actually looking at each other through the eyes of our oppressors, and we don't even know that. So somewhere along the line, we have to get more intelligent about this. And we have to understand that the hold on us and our mentality is real. There's things programmed to make you react to certain things. Like if someone calls you a bitch, you should be angry. Or if someone sleeps with your man, you should want to fight, or you have to approach somebody about it. Or instead of you having your own reaction and being allowed to process it and react the way you feel you want to react, what makes you feel like it's more comfortable for you. So you got all these programmed things, these cliches like the good die young. We should never ever say the good die young. We have to stop saying that because we don't understand the power of our words. We have to stop saying that the good die young because the good are dying young, and we say that all the time. We have to become more educated about the power we have and how we use it. Who's benefiting off of these young rappers being killed? Look at YNW Melly. He kills his two friends. Excuse me, guys. Apparently because they were threatening his mother. And what's so strange about that is the first rapper, Slick Rick, who murdered someone, murdered them for that same reason as YNW Melly. They were threatening his mother. But what gets me is YNW Melly allegedly killed his two friends and was in the car with them riding around. This is some scary zombie shit, like some, I don't understand. This is really weird. Then fast forward now, you got YFN Lucci. He gets into an altercation. His friend is in the car. His friend gets hurt, and they throw him out of the car into the middle of the street. Listen, guys, this is not how we are. This is not how Black people operate. We've been infiltrated by a negative energy that has attached itself to us. And we have to be aware of this, and we can't ignore that shit no more. Because it's just getting worse and worse. Like the stories that's coming out are getting worse and worse. It's not getting better. And I know it might be entertaining to some of us because, you know, you wouldn't expect these things to happen this way, but it's spilling out into real life. It's going to spill out into home lives. I remember a couple of years ago in Pop Smoke's neighborhood, people woke up and saw a body in the middle of the street in Canarsie. Those of you from New York know Canarsie wasn't like that. Canarsie wasn't like that. Even when the mob was controlling that area and they were committing murders against each other, there was no bodies in the middle of the street in the morning when you wake up. So something's going on here, something very nefarious, something very spooky and evil, and peace doesn't last for long. Peace is always interrupted, and there's always a problem. These are not the type of people that we are. We are not naturally like that. So just be more mindful and pay attention. You'll see the patterns in the programs and the seeds that are planted to have us react a certain way. It's like we're being controlled everywhere. In every genre and everywhere we try to find escape. There's strings being pulled. So that was just a thought. Peace and love.